1 second. Well, setting is complete at the moment. Okay. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa, and I am here with you. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting Israeli women soldiers in the topic of the toxic feminism. And now, here today's point is Operation Road. Well, here we have a respect on Operation Roads because during the Operation Roads, Israeli Air Force, particularly Israeli F-16 fighter planes, successfully eliminated our Iranian terrorist supreme leader Ali Khamenei. And now, in this moment, here we contain some significant YouTube shorts where the YouTube shorts contains the points. They promote some feminism in Israeli armies, and their promotion feminism in Israeli armies is too fast that here now a man, Israeli man F-16 fighter planes successfully eliminate Ali Khamenei, but credit stealer is women. Okay, and now here we can say what's happening the points. Well, here my editing is okay. Well, and here now let's check it. What's happened? Okay, now here we can see 30 women on missions, zero limits. The International Women's Day, we recognize the 30 female aircrew crew to be air pilots and navigator taking part to Operation Roaring Lions. Okay, now here that carry on a mission sky over Iran's with precision focus on the courage. Their elements are most of complex and the criticals compatibilities in the operations, and their delivers Operation Lowering Lions. Okay, has demonstrate exceptional capabilities, forwards and coordinations. Okay, now it is the promotion of feminism on Israeli armies in the name of International Women's Day. Okay, and now I would check you that what is the reality of the points. And here reality is significantly difficult and different, and reality is somehow the opposite points of the momentum. Okay, and now let's check it the moments. Now Israeli feminist military pilot on Operation Roaring Lion to eliminate Ali Khamenei, Iranian terrorist supreme leaders. Okay, now Israeli feminist F-16 fighter plans. What is the plan? I don't know. Here departure is Tel Aviv, the capital city of Israel, and target is Tehran, Iran. Okay. Now here is the demonstrated flying routes. Here departure is Tel Aviv, Israel. First stop is Moscow, the capital city of Russia. Second stop is Beijing, the capital city of China. Third stop is Shanghai, the city of China. Fourth stop is Bangkok, the capital city of Thailand. And the destination is Tehran, the capital city of Iran. And that is the targets. Okay. Now here we can see flying distance is 18,000 kilometers. Flying velocity is 90 kilometer per hours. Okay. Now here we can see what is the flying times. Flying time is 200 hours. That is 16 days, 8 hours. That means 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 seconds. Okay. And now here we can see these moments. Well, now here is my point that what if the Israel contends feminist F-16 fighter planes to eliminate Ali Khamenei in operations Roaring Lions. Okay, and now here we can notify it as the Operation Roaring Lions at the points. And here the points is significant to be notified. With the feminist Israeli F-16 fighter planes, here Israeli Air Force can reach Tehran, Iran with the flying timing of 200 hours with the flying distance of 18,000 kilometers. And here, now let's talk about the points. What is the arrival time? The arrival time is afternoon 2 o'clock, February 28, 2026. And here, that means, here is the moment, the departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, February 11, 2026. Because flying timing would be 16 days, 8 hours. But now, here would be my points that what about the misogynist fighter planes? Okay. Now let's talk about the moments as the misogynist F-16 fighter planes, as we can see. Okay. Now departure is same, target is same. Here flying distance is 18,000 kilometers. Well, but now here we can see the flying velocity is 72,000 kilometers per second. And here flying timing is 0.25 seconds. Okay. And now let's check it. It is the plan of Israeli misogynist military pilot on Operation Roaring Lions. Okay? And now let's check it. What is the points? Here the departure time is morning 6 o'clock, February 28, 2026, and arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 0.25 seconds past, February 28, 2026. And now here we can see the moments that is less than 1 second. And now that is the beautiful points. And here is my points that how we can love, how we Israeli misogynist pilots love the F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 72,000 kilometers per second, and we hate the F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 90 kilometers per hour. Okay. Now here we can see the momentums. What is the definition of misogyny and what is the definition of feminism? Okay. Now here we can see The definitions of misogyny is here supporting the particular gender to be Israeli military pilot that can contain F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 72,000 km per second. That is the definition of misogyny. On the other hand, here we can see the points. What is the definition of feminism? Well, definition of feminism is the point to be noted, Milord. Here, definition of feminism is to support the particular gender to be Israeli military pilot that can contain F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 90 km per hour. Okay, and here let's check it the moment at the points. Here, as a comparison, here Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes contains the velocity to be almost here, so 90 km per hour, where Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes velocity is 72,000 km per second. Now where is 90 km per hour and where is 72,000 km per second? That is the significant achievement. Well, now let's convert 72,000 kilometers into kilometer per hour. Okay, now let's say we know 1 hour is 3600 seconds. Hence, we can say 72,000 multiplied by 3600 kilometer per hour. Okay, 10 cube multiplied by 100 is 10 to the power 5. And now let's check it the moments. What is 72? 72 is here 2 multiplied by 36. What is 36 square? That is 6 to the power 4. That is 1296. Now, what is 96 multiplied by 2? That is here 192. And what is 12 multiplied by 2? That is 24. 1296 multiplied by 2 is 2592. And that is the significant points at the moments. And here we can say the points. Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes contains the velocity to be 2592 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilometer per hour. On the other hand, Israeli feminist we can say the words Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes contains the velocity to be 90 km per hour. Where is 90 and where is 2592 multiplied by 10 to the power 5? And here we can see the moments. The Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter plane is faster than Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes. And here we can say that it is the velocity. But surprisingly, in this videos, well, here we contains the subscribable points. Okay. Now here we can see it is the screenshot of YouTube Israel. Okay. Now let's talk about the moments. As a summary, it is clearly written in this video released for International Women's Day, honor the contributions of women with the Israeli Defense Force, especially highlighting their roles of in the several operations. Okay, Israeli Defense Force soldiers has contains the highest contributions. But now, here we can see the Operation Lowing Lands. The video recognized 30 female all crew members, including pilots and navigators, who are performing critical mistakes in, critical missions in the sky over Iran. And here is the significant points that feminist community hides the realities. Okay, and now let's check at the moments at the points. Okay, now here we can see let's contain the high performance issues, and now here we can see let's check about the moments. What about high points? What about the travel times when the flying distance is 18,000 kilometers? Okay. Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes departure time is morning 6 o'clock, February 11, 2026. And here, Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes flying departure time is morning 6 o'clock, February 28, 2026. Now, where is morning 6 o'clock, February 11, 2026, and where is morning 6 o'clock, February 28, 2026? Here is the significant moments. Israeli misogynist military pilot were less than Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes. And now, let's talk about the points. Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes arrival time is afternoon 2 o'clock, February 28, 2026. But now Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes arrival time is morning 6 o'clock, 0.25 seconds past, February 28, 2026. And now here we can see the points. Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes is almost 16 days, 8 hours late than Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes as their departure times. But now Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes is too fast, is faster than Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes as an arrival time, where Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes is almost 8 hours faster than Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes. And here, that is the moment at the points. And here we can see that what is necessity of we misogynist Israeli military pilot to contest the F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 72,000 kilometers per second. Okay. Now here now it is the first point of the moment, and the second point is here is the shocking points, that is the words, because accordance with the informations as we could see, let's find out the informations. Okay, just wait and watch. Okay. Well, accordance with informations, when the topic is Operation Roaring Lions, the video of Israeli Defense Force recognized 30 female air crew members, including pilots and navigators, are performing critical missions in the sky on Iran. Okay, now let's check it. Let's check the reality of three Israeli crew members, including pilot and navigator, to be women. Okay, well, okay. Now here we can see, and here is the points. Well, now here the flying distance is 18,000 kilometers, and it is the navigation at the moment as hypothetical navigation points. Okay. Now here we can see the moments. Now when we contents women navigators as an Israeli Air Force, uh, Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes required 16 days, 8 hours to arrive on the sky of Iranian terrorists. And now, in this moment, Iranian revolutionary terrorist supreme leader Ali Khamenei could get prepared in 16 days, 8 hours to eliminate Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes, or in 16 days, 8 hours preparation times, Ali Khamenei's next target would be our honorable Israeli misogynist Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli misogynist President Isaac Herzog. And that is the significant points at the moment. Well, now here we can see that is the points to be notified. And now let's check it. What it is the points of Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes Operation Roaring Lion strategy. But now let's check of the moments. What if Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes contains man navigators and man pilot, or misogynist pilot and the misogynist navigator in Operation Roaring Lions, who does not support International Women's Day? Let's check it. What is the points? Here, the point is significant momentums as we could notify. Okay. Now here we can see the point is difference. Now here point is Israeli misogynist military pilot on Operation Roaring Lions to eliminate Ali Khamenei, the Iranian revolutionary terrorist. Here flying distance is 18,000 kilometers. Flying velocity is 72,000 kilometers per second. Here flying timing is 0.25 seconds. And now when here we can see the flying timing would be 0.25 seconds with a flying distance of 18,000 kilometers. In this point, here Iranian terrorist supreme leaders Ali Khamenei would contain no clue to get any preparation times to escape the attack from Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes. Okay. And what is the reasons? Here I would mention at the points. But first of all, let's check it. What is the definitions of surprise attacks? Okay. Now the definitions of surprise attack is here the attacks with the high speed that enemy cannot contain any clue that if they would escape the attack from us, or not. And it is at the surprise attacks that enemy would contest no reaction time. Okay. And now let's take in the moments. When Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes contains 90 km per hour, it is not a surprise attack because here Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei could get a proper preparation in 16 days, 8 hours. But now, when Israeli misogynist with man navigator contours the Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 72,000 km per second, where flying distance is 80,000 kilometers. Well, here reaction time would be 0.25 seconds. And in this reaction times here we can see here's Iranian terrorist supreme leaders Ali Khamenei could not imagine that Israeli F-16 fighter plane can attack on her. And that is the significant points as we could notify. Well, and here that's the point is of, and here it is the moments, it is the perfect surprise attack with the velocity of E. Because here reaction time is 0.25 seconds, that contains no clue to preparation times. And here we contest the definitions, that what is the definition of misogyny versus what is the definition of feminism. Well, the definition of misogyny is to support the surprise attack that the enemy contends the reaction time to be 0.25 seconds, that they would contend no clue to get a preparation to escape the attack from us. But what is the definition of feminism? The definition of feminism is to contest the F-16 fighter plane's velocity that provide 16 days, 8 hours preparation time to enemy that they can attack on our F-16 fighter planes. And here, this is the moments that why we support misogyny and why we hate feminism. Hence, here is the moments that why we hate feminism in Israeli military, particularly International Women's Day in Israeli militaries. And now, here we can see the points. Here we have mentioned velocity and we have mentioned travel timing at the points. But now, here I forgot that what would be the Iranian feminist reactions. Okay. Now, in this moment, in the period of Ali Khamenei regime, Iran was actually Islamic Iran. Well, and here feminism support Islam and Islam support feminism. Okay. And now here we can see that is the points. Just wait and watch. Here we contains the significant methods at the moments. Okay. Now let's check it. What is Iranian feminist military pilot under Ali Khamenei? Iranian terrorist supreme leaders to eliminate Israel. Okay, now here I think I contains mistakes. Well, here I would clear the mistaken points, and here we can see Tehran, and here we can see the right here. Departure is Tehran, Iran, and what is the target? Target is Tel Aviv, the capital city of which country? Okay, Israel. Israel. Okay. Now here we can see the flying distance is 18,000 kilometers and flying velocity 18,000 kilometers per hour. Well, flying time is 1 hour 3600 seconds. Okay. Now here we can see departure time is morning 6 o'clock, February 28, 2026, and arrival time is morning 7 o'clock, February 28, 2026. Okay. And now here we can, now here I would mention that what is the preparation of Iranian terrorists. Okay. Now here why I have mentioned Iranian feminist military pilots, because feminism support Islamic terrorism. Okay. And now let's take the momentums at the points. Well, Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes here contains the velocity of 90 km per hour. When Iranian feminist F6, Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 contains the velocity of 18,000 km per hour. Well, now where is 90 km per hour and where is 18,000 km per hour? Here we can see the points. 1800 divided by 9, that is 200. That means Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 is 200 times faster than Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes. Okay. And now that is the momentum we could see. Well, let's take the points. What is 18,000? That is 3600 multiplied by 5. Okay. And here we can see, and let's check the momentums at some significant points. And what is 18,000 km per hour? That is 5 km per second. Hence, Iranian feminist military, Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 contains the velocity of 5 km per second. We can remember that. And now, let's check the more points. What about Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes velocity? Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes velocity is 72,000 km per second, where Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 contains the velocity of 18,000 km per hour. That means 5 km per second. Now where is 5 km per second and where is 72,000 km per second? And here we can see the points. 144 times Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes is faster than Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37. And now it is the points to be noticed as a velocity. And now let's check it. What is the flying times? Okay. Here Israeli feminist Sukhoi, I apologize. Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes flying time is 16 days, 8 hours with the flying distance of 18,000 kilometers. Where Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 flying time is 1 hour with the flying distance of 18,000 kilometers. And now, here we can see the parts. Where is 16 days, 8 hours and where is 1 hour. That means Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 can defeat Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes in the first hour of Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes journey. Okay. And now, let's talk about the points. What about Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes? Flying time, that is 0.25 seconds with the flying distance of 18,000 kilometers. In the same distance, Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 flying time is 1 hour. Now, where is 0.25 seconds and where is 1 hour? That means here we could see the points. Israeli misogynist Sukhoi 37 can defeat Iranian feminist, I apologize repeatedly, Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes can defeat Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 in the first second of Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 journey. And here we can see this moment. And now, February 28, 2026, Ali Khamenei was eliminated in the hand of Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes, where the feminist F-16 fighter planes was none of use. Okay. Here we have discussed the velocity, we have discussed the travel time, and now we can discuss the points that would be kinetic powers. Okay. Now here we can discuss the points is kinetic powers. Okay. Now here we can see these moments. And here kinetic powers is mentioned as the different methods. We would discuss it. Okay. Now here we can discuss the different methods. Well, now first of all we would mention the Newtonian kinetic powers equations. Okay. Now here we can see these moments. We know that what is the Newtonian kinetic powers equations, that is half of weight of fighter planes multiplied by flying distance squared divided by flying travel time cube. And now here we can see these moments. What about Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes flying times? Here kinetic powers calculation, Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes kinetic powers calculation is half of weight of Israeli F-16 fighter planes to be 10 to the power 5 kilograms multiplied by here flying distance square divided by flying time cube. What is the flying distance square? That is 16 days 8 hours. That means it is almost 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 seconds. Okay? As a flying timing. Now, what is the flying distance? That is 18,000 kilometers. That means it is 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. Okay? Now, what about the here? Okay, now here we can see what is the 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters as a flying distance. Here, flying distance square is 18 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square. Okay, we know what is 18 square, that is 324. And what is 10 to the power 6 square, that is 10 to the power 12. Okay, now here we can see this momentum at the points. Now 10 to the power 12, hence the flying distance square is 324 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Now let's check at the points. What is flying timing? That is 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 seconds. Hence flying timing cube is 72 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 4 cube. Now what is 72 cube? That is 8 multiplied by 6 to the power 6. And what is 8 multiplied by 6 to the power 6? That is 8 multiplied by 45,656. Okay. Now here we can see the ones. What is 10 to the power 4 cube? That is 10 to the power 12. Hence, flying timing is 8 multiplied by 45,656 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 second cube. Hence, the calculation is 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 18 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square divided by 72 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 4 cube. That can contain surprisingly as a calculations of 324 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. Okay, here it is 324 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 divided by bracket of 8 multiplied by 45,656 bracket close. And here the result is 89 watts. And now here is my questions. Now we contest Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes with women pilots and women navigators. Now here the point is, as a velocity and kinetic powers, it is Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes or the cow pulling car. I don't know at the points. But now here we can see that is the proper points. Now on the other hand, what is the kinetic powers of Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37s? Here I would mention the points. Okay. Now it is ready for the significant journeys. Okay. And here that is the moments. Kinetic power is 712 megawatts. What is the calculations here? We know the equation of Newtonian kinetic powers of Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37s. And now, hence the calculations became 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 18 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square multiplied by 36 multiplied by 10 square cube. Okay. Now here the points. What is 10 square cube? That is 10 to the power 6. What is 36 cube? That is 6 to the power 6. That is 45,656. Okay. Now here we can see the points. 10 to the power 6 square is 10 to the power 12. 12 subtracted by 6 is 6. And what is multiplication between 10 to the power 5 and 10 to the power 6? That is 10 to the power 11. And here the calculation is 324 multiplied by 10 to the power 11 divided by 45,656. And here answer is 712 megawatts. Okay. Now here we can see these moments at the points. Well, let's focus on kinetic powers. Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes kinetic power is 89 watts. Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 kinetic power is 712 megawatts. Now here we can see these moments. Now when the video was about Operation Roaring Lion connecting with International Women's Day, now here we can see this points. Is it possible for Israeli feminist pilot to get a victory against Ali Khamenei? I mean, is it possible for Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes to eliminate Iranian terrorist supreme leader Ali Khamenei? Answer is no, it is not possible, because here we can see these moments because we have seen these moments that Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 is almost 8 million times powerful than Israeli feminist Sukhoi 37. I apologize, Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes. Now here we can see the points. When Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes is 8 million times weaker than Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37, hence as in calculations, it is almost impossible to believe that Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes eliminate Iranian terrorist supreme leader Ali Khamenei. Okay. Now here we can say that is the different. What is here when they protect the sovereignty of Israel? Let's check it. What is the definition of feminism in Israel? Okay. Definition of feminism is Israel that Israeli F-16 fighter plane would contain the kinetic powers of 89 watts. When the enemy country like Iranian terrorists Sukhoi 37s would contain the kinetic power of 712 megawatts, and Israeli F-16 fighter planes should be 8 million times weaker than Iranian terrorist Sukhoi 37s. And that is the significant points, the definition of feminism. And when the definition of feminism, it is something like anti-national activities movements. Now when the topic is about anti-national activities movements, that is a significant dangerous points. Okay. And now hence now we want to experiment what is the definition of misogyny in the topic of Israeli F-16 fighter planes. Okay, let's check it at the momentums as we could see. Okay, and here we can contest the misogynical points. Well, and here we when the flying velocity is 72,000 km per second, hence here kinetic power would be calculated as an Albert Einsteinian kinetic powers. Okay. Now here we can see the well, what is Albert Einsteinian kinetic powers? That is static energy divided by flying time enter multiple by bracket of lambda subtracted by 1 bracket close. Okay, and what is the lambda? That is 1 divided by bracket of square root of bracket of 1 subtract by v bracket of b square divided by c square, enter bracket close. Okay. Now here we can see what is the flying velocity. The flying velocity is 72,000 km per second. What is flying velocity divided by velocity of light? That is 72 divided by 300. That is 24 divided by 100. That is 0.25. Okay. And here we can see the calculations. What is the value of lambda subtract by 1? That is, well, 3.011 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 2. Okay. And here we can see this moments. Now let's check it. What is the statistic value of statistic energy of Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes? Well, we know the half of weight of Israeli F-16 fighter planes is 10 to the power 5 kilograms. That means the weight of Israeli F-16 fighter planes is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms. Okay. Now let's take about what is the equations of statistic energy. That is weight of Israeli. That means weight of Israeli F-16 fighter planes multiplied by velocity of light square. We know the velocity of light is 3 multiplied by 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Hence, velocity of light square is 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 16 meter square per second square. Okay. And hence statistic energy is, calculation is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 6. That is 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joule. Okay. And now here we can see this moments. Now flying distance is 18,000 kilometers. Flying velocity is 72,000 km per second. Here flying velocity is of course 0.25. Okay. And here we could notify the points. Calculations of kinetic power is 18 divided by 0.25 enter multiplied by 10 to the power 12 multiplied by 3.011 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 2. And the calculation is 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 19 multiplied by 3.011. And hence the answer of kinetic power is 2167.92 trillion megawatts. Okay. And now here is the momentum. That is the very significant points. Okay. And now here the significant points we can calculate is here what is the definitions of misogyny? The definitions of misogyny is okay. Well, now let's check it. What is the definitions of misogyny? The definition of misogyny is here to contains the F-16 fighter planes with the kinetic powers of 2167.92 trillion megawatts. And now here we can see the points. Let's compare it. Well, when Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes encountered Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37s, here Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37s kinetic power is 712 megawatts. Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes kinetic power is 89 watts. And here is obviously we can say that Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes would be defeated by Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37. But now, when Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 encounter Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes, hence what would be the significant points? Here, Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes contains the kinetic power of 2167.92 trillion megawatts, where Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 Belos kinetic power is 712 megawatts. Where is 712 megawatts and where is 2167.92 trillion megawatts? And it is the points Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 cannot match with Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes. And it is the probability that Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes is the only F-16 fighter planes that could eliminate the Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. And that is the point of that. But now, recently we could notify at the moments that here our honorable beautiful sister from Israeli Defense Force, well, mentions that Operation Roaring Land contains 30 female all crew members including pilots and navigators. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Now we can discuss. We have discussed the Iranian feminist navigators. Now it is the circumstance of Israeli feminist navigators and it is the circumstance of Israeli misogynist navigator. Okay. And now let's say the momentums at the points. Okay, now what if we would mention as an fuel system? And here we contains surprisingly a game changers. Now here is the game changing points. Well, the game changing moment is the fuel system. Now Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes fuel is petrols. Here fuel volume is 823,863 liters of petrol. That means approximately 824 liters of petrols. Okay. And now here we can see this moments. Iranian feminist Sukhoi 37 fuel system is petrol. Here fuel volume is 33 billion liters of petrols. Okay. Well, 33 billion liters of petrols. But now let's check at the points. What about Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes? Here we could see the momentums. Here fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Here fuel weight is almost 5.3 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 666,653 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666,666 degrees Celsius. And now That is the significant momentums at the points. Okay. Now here is the surprising momentums at the and here, accordance with summary, Operation Roaring Lions, the video recognized 30 female all crew members, including pilots and navigators, who are performing critical missions in the sky over Iran's. Okay, and now let's check the realities. Well, we women lost the vehicle where fuel system would be petrols. Hence, Israeli women's pilot, particularly Israeli feminist pilots, love the F-16 fighter planes with the fuel system to be petrols. And now, petrol is the losing factors that petrol is the factor that we can be defeated by enemy countries, and that can compromise Operation Roaring Lions. And here you can see that is the momentum as significant points. Operation Roaring Lions is just a drama for Israeli feminist F-16 fighter planes, but it is real by Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes. And now, here we can see when Israel contents misogynist navigators and Israel contents the misogynist pilot. Here the fuel system would be artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666,666,666 degrees Celsius. And now, here is the points. Feminist, here we can see the significant moments. Here, feminist fuel system is petrol. That is ended in 1945. Misogynist fuel system is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666,666,666 degrees Celsius. That is favorite for Israeli misogynist pilot. And now here we can see this moment. The era start from 1945. Okay. Now here we can see 126 subtract by 45 is 86 subtract by 5, that is 81. Now here we can see the moments. 81 years we are living in the era of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. But here Israeli feminist pilots rely on petrols that can compromise the Operation Roaring Lions. And here, when the point is Operation Roaring Lions, and that is the significant moments, as we could notify, Israeli sovereignty can be compromised by Iranian terrorists to be 37 to be feminist. And now Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes contains artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666,666,666 degrees Celsius. It can protect the sovereignty of Israel. But now still Here several moments our honorable beautiful feminist soldiers said that we feminists are contributing the critical missions on of Operation Roaring Lamps on Sky. Okay. And here we can notify this petrol. One factor is petrol, second factor is 90 km per hour, third factor is here flying time of 16 days 8 hours, and the fourth time is kinetic power to be 89 watts. In all of those factors, here is my question is, how would be the possible the Israeli feminist pilot can eliminate the Iranian terrorist Sukhoi 37s, where the real credit goes to Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes that could eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. And in the real time is Iranian misogynist, I apologize, Israeli misogynist F-16 fighter planes eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei, not the feminist F-16 fighter planes. And now, here is my point. I have mentioned it. See you then. Khuda Hafiz. Love you.